One of the strangest trends that I've seen lately is celebrities and influencers that are people of color idolizing Adolf Hitler.
I like Hitler. I do not. The Holocaust is not what happened. Let's look at the facts of that. And Hitler has a lot of redeeming qualities.
Nigga, Heil Hitler. Heil Hitler. Do you notice nobody had any negative feedback about it?
I think one of the most lied about figures in history. I definitely think by far one of the most lied about figures in history.
And praising the Nazis.
You know, I'm kind of thinking we should bring the Nazi salute back.
With conservatives actively trying to rewrite history.
We have seen the very words used to describe Black Americans' experience with slavery and discrimination erased from federal recognition. We have seen websites purged of Black people's contribution to this country.
It's insane that I even have to say this. Nazis were evil. They were racist, genocidal, warmongering, ultra-nationalists whose whole ideology was built on ethnic cleansing and racial superiority.
In 1935, the Nazis passed a series of notoriously racist laws called the Nuremberg Laws, which stripped Jews of their German citizenship, removed all of their political rights, and legally institutionalized their persecution.
And then within a few years, Nazis were hunting down Jewish men, women, and children, brutally murdering them, then dumping their bodies into mass graves.
In towns and villages occupied by the German army, German military and police units, Nazi soldiers, often with the help of local collaborators, rounded up Jewish men, women, children, and the elderly, took them to mass graves, and shot them to death, murdering roughly 2 million Jews within just a few years.
They systematically forced families into overcrowded ghettos where they starved and died of disease before deporting them to death camps.
Jews were sent in cattle cars to places like Belzec, Sobibor, and Treblinka, forced into chambers they were told were showers, and gassed to death. This assembly line of mass murder continued for years, with thousands of Jews murdered every day.
But for some reason, these weird, awkward, goofy, red pill MAGA alpha male conservatives are obsessed with bigging up Hitler and bringing Nazis back, as if Black people wouldn't have been next on the Nazi extermination list. But I'm Jew, welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
My heart goes out to all of you. You know, I'm kind of thinking we should bring the Nazi salute back. Because the people we've been arguing with for the last 4 years have no interest in objective truth.
Andrew Tate is and has always been super corny to me. Him, just like the red pill is whole, fresh and fit, became super mega popular during the pandemic when there were so many people feeling lost and desperate, just trying to find something to believe in. And people found Andrew Tate, who convinced him that he was the alpha male to follow, that he's what a man should be. But he really had lost young men who didn't know themselves yet hadn't matured into who they would be, follow him, buy into him, and get indoctrinated into the alpha male red pill conservative rabbit hole. The new phenomenon of people of color becoming Nazis is not only gross, but just stupid and bizarre. It is really bizarre because you are everything that the Nazis hated. Hitler would have fried Tate like a country steak and laughed to Goebbels about it right afterwards. Hitler despised Black people, who Nazis believed were subhuman monstrosities. And for people like Andrew Tate and Sneako, who are both mixed, who have Black fathers, it's even more ridiculous that Hitler is the historical figure that they get on their knees for.
The reason they fear nationalism when white people get banded together is because they apply it to World War II. They say, well, white nationalists do what Hitler did because he was a white nationalist.
We don't have to apply anything to World War II. Black people in this country have experienced white supremacy throughout our entire existence of being here. And it wasn't that long ago that Black people were fighting, marching, dying, bleeding for civil rights, for the right to vote. So we know recent memory what white supremacy looks like and feels like, what white Christian nationalism actually is, which is bad for anybody not purely white.
So they say that when white people get together and are nationalistic, it's like the Nazis. When other people get together and they're nationalistic, it's not.
Because nobody else has controlled America. Nobody has the power in this country except for white men. So when Black people talk about Black pride and being proud of being Black, we're proud of who we are and what we persevere through as a people to be here. It's not us hating anybody else. Meanwhile, white supremacy is all about hating everybody else and controlling power and putting themselves at the top of whatever power structure. That's the problem with white supremacy and white pride. And again, a mixed guy supporting white supremacy and white Christian nationalism. nationalists that would not include him. Nazi ideology explicitly taught that blackness polluted racial purity and that interracial relationships were war crimes against nature. So they didn't even believe people like Andrew Tate and Sneako should exist. But even with that, these doofuses are really online trying to normalize Nazism in the United States of America in 2025. The first person and probably the biggest black name that we saw go this far-right conservative to Hitler was a good guy route was Kanye. But he really got indoctrinated by Nick Fuentes, who you can basically see as like the gateway to supporting Nazis and loving Hitler.
Buddy, it's Führer Friday. It is Hitler Friday. Shut up. It is Heil Hitler Friday. Heil Hitler, all my Nazis.
Hitler was a and kind of a pagan. It's like, well, he was also really cool. So, you know, time to grow up.
Because it's really not a coincidence that he has relationships with Sneako and Marvin, who espouse the same I love Nazis, they weren't that bad bullshit.
That's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. The Jew, I love everyone. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table. Especially Hitler.
Especially Hitler is crazy work. Before the richest man in the world and the president were both racist Nazis, conservatives like this couldn't just come outright and say they loved Hitler and they supported the Nazis. Because in a normal world, that would be batshit crazy to say. But I think we can all agree we are not in a normal world right now. From them trying to erase black history to Vance making pro-white, be white and proud, don't apologize for whiteness speeches.
In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore.
Just last week, Ye and Fuentes attended a dinner hosted by former President Donald Trump at his Mar-a-Lago resort and home.
Nick Fuentes is a racist, an anti-Semite, and someone who revels in just saying hateful, bigoted things against Jews and other minorities.
Crazy how so much can change in a few years, because everything he said is why Nick Fuentes was banned everywhere. And just a few years later, Nick Fuentes, I think, is unbanned everywhere and one of the most popular conservatives in the world. Look at Nick Fuentes grinning. This is his message. This is his love of Hitler and the Nazis, which he still says to this day. And he's influencing one of the most influential artists and rappers in history to become pro-Nazi and pro-Hitler.
I'm not trying to be shocking. I like Hitler. I do not. The Holocaust is not what happened. Let's look at the facts of that. And Hitler has a lot of redeeming qualities.
Which is crazy because he really rode for black people at one point.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
For me, I knew what time it was with Kanye when he said slavery was a choice.
You hear about slavery for 400 years? For 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all?
And I really do think if Kanye didn't go that route, I don't think we would have seen people like Sneako and Andrew Tate idolizing Hitler or the Nazis. Which perfectly segues to Sneako, who basically went from a creative art kid YouTuber to falling down the red pill conservative MAGA rabbit hole.
Do you consider wearing a slutty outfit teasing a man?
Yeah. All men end up ugly? Nah! This is why we need to body shame more. Look, bro! Come look at her. That shit doesn't make you mad.
Even really cares.
They mended it up ugly.
All of these alpha male guys, I know Sneako isn't in that alpha male realm anymore, but it's so funny that they do all of this talking and teaching, telling guys how to be masculine and act, when they act like the biggest immature goofball ass kids in the world.
To understand that perspective, if you're going to use that as an argument, you can't just shut him out and say, nope, understand everyone's perspective but this one guy.
I understand Hitler.
Literally, with Sneako refusing to even say Hitler was a bad guy, because the conservative MAGA movement is constantly trying to rewrite history.
He's a sick man. You even admitted he's a piece of shit, Sneako, right? He's evil, right?
I think he was a bad person. I don't know if he was evil. I haven't met the guy. I think he was a bad person. Yes.
I don't know if he was evil. I haven't met the guy.
I think he was a bad person.
Sneako.
But you see what you guys are doing? You want me...
Sneako.
Whether or not he was evil, you want me to agree...
Was Hitler evil?
Do you see what you're doing? You want me to agree with the specific narratives?
When Aiden Ross and DJ Academics look like the sensible people, you know things are bad. And the fact that Sneako, who also was tied in and indoctrinated by Nick Fuentes, did all this pro-Hitler, pro-Nazi content and still has a career to this day, with us knowing these are his sentiments, really just shows you how far we've deteriorated as a society, that this type of behavior, that this type of content is normalized. Trying to modernize Hitler, rewrite history, and make him cool is still one of the most despicable things that Sneako really did. Just corny. Doing all this for what? Supporting Hitler for what? What does he get out of that? Imagine if Nazis came back today, if Hitler was somehow resurrected and looked online and saw two people of color playing Nazi music and doing Nazi salutes. Do you know how confused he would be? Because he thought black people were animals. And what was probably worse than black people to them is mixed people. Sneako. While Marvin, on the other hand, is just a Sudanese immigrant cosplaying as a black American. And at this point, he's probably taking his pro-Nazi, pro-Hitler, and anti-Semitic stances further than anyone online, even Nick Fuentes. He's basically crashing out at this point about anything black or Jew related and praising pro-whiteness and racism.
Because the reality is this, you facts. You guys come into a country, you push your pornography, you push your central bank.
Dude, what are you doing?
You push your degeneracy, you push the LGBT community, you push all this bullshit into a society, you destroy it from within, and then you guys go ahead, and then you band together, you practice nepotism, you keep each other at the highest levels of echelons of government, and everything.
But did he just say Hitler was right?
And Marvin is 100% a trash, racist, anti-Semitic, pro-Hitler, pro-Nazi, pro-white Christian nationalist clown.
You love Hitler like Kanye?
I wouldn't say I love him.
I love Hitler.
But I think that.
And now his whole shtick is just being full-on anti-Semitic. When the same racist white Christian nationalists who Amber was caping for already told them how they feel about him.
Myron, you were in MySpace the other day, and I said, you know, you're doing a great job calling it these, but you know, if we take this country back, we want it for white folks. And would you go home? And you said, I was born here and I'm not going anywhere. And this is where I think the problem is with working with non-whites, is that once you think you help us, that you're just going to stay in our country. Do you still stand with that answer?
Bro, look, man, I know you're trying to get a clippable moment here for your...
No, it's the truth, man. This is the issue with whites working with non-whites.
About a problem. We're over here talking about a problem, then you bring it right back into, you know, this whole white thing. Like, dude, shut the fuck up.
This whole white thing is what built this country, Myron.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Hey, you fucking sand.
It's so confusing to me, riding for white supremacists and then being surprised or acting shocked that their white supremacy includes you not being in the country. And this tweet really spoke to what I mentioned earlier about how Kanye becoming pro-Hitler and pro-Nazi influenced other people too. Andrew started pretending that he likes Hitler after Kanye West's Black Nazi LARP took off.
What's your opinions on Big H?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think one of the most lied about figures in history. I definitely think by far one of the most lied about figures in history.
The same people trying to rewrite history about Germany, about Nazis, are the same exact people downplaying slavery, saying slavery wasn't that bad, and pushing for racists to be racist and unapologetic. And more than anything, he's just a
I think it's smart as hell. Slash. Yeah, buddy, let's go, nigga. My dog is smarter than yours. Talk to me when your dog can do that, nigga. Your stupid ass pitbull, retarded ass dog.
All of these red pill alpha males are really dweebs and dorks, and this is what people are looking up to. If you don't recall, Amru, Sudanese, is the one posting how much he loves Hitler and hosting shows to millions of young people about how cool Hitler was. Yeah, we like Hitler. No one gives a fuck what you woke Jews think anymore. Bro was a revolutionary leader and saved Germany. The Jews declared war on Germany first. This dude is in his mid-30s. No kids, no wife, no girl, probably a boyfriend, doing shit like this. Just so whitewashed and corny. These people have no actual talents to contribute to society, so they have no choice but to keep intensifying outrageous antics and shattering taboos. I think that's definitely true with Andrew Tate. He got known for his outrageousness, for saying all these crazy things about women. And just like all these other black influential conservatives, then they start saying anti-black stuff, then anti-Jewish stuff, and then they just become full-on Nazis. Since being a Nazi is considered one of the few off-limit behaviors, it used to be, not anymore, they feel temptation invitation to engage in it. They are normalizing Nazism now. They are using people like Tate, who isn't even fully white, to normalize it. That's the craziest thing. You can see white people doing this because they could actually live in a time with the Nazis. Anybody black or mixed in a Nazi-controlled world were going in a mass grave or oven or becoming slaves, period. I'm just glad I'm old enough to where he's never, ever come up in conversation with my peers as someone with redeeming qualities. If you were old enough to already know who you were, be living a real life, then that type of red pill alpha male content would have never appealed to you. Somebody like Andrew Tate, Marvin, or Sneako would have always come across as a dork to you. Just how they come across to me is just super weird, corny dudes. If you paid your own bills half your life, you know a loser when you see one. Big facts. Andrew Tate has always been an atomic dork, and he's been around long enough that the spell is finally wearing off. The audience he fed on, naive boys looking for an identity, is growing up. That may be true for some, but the amount of racism and Nazism that I see online should be concerning, because that means that these fans that are growing up in that red pill alpha male conservative pro-white supremacist wave, he can't hide behind the sunglasses and volume anymore. The people who once didn't know who they were are starting to figure it out, and when that happens, the act collapses. What remains is an empty performance, dumb noise from a dork, propped up by a dwindling audience that mistakes loudness for authority and conviction for intelligence. At the end of the day, the Andrew Sneakos, Andrew Tates supporting Nazism, big up in Hitler, is just the most perplexing thing to see in real time. Because like I said before, they either would have been in a mass grave or cooked, so I don't know what they think they're promoting. And anybody following them to this extent is in for a rude awakening when power shifts back to a normal party and we're back to a normal government, and norms are eventually restored in society, which they will be. These people will always be extremists because there's no hiding digital footprints these days. But shout out to my channel members. Thank y'all so much for supporting, and thanks for watching. Y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Also, make sure you check out the next video, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes and life stuff, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.